So today we're going to talk about 4 things. Let's just look at what smartwatch apps are out there, right? And that's going to tell us a trend, and that's going to tell us how people are going to use it. And let's talk about what can we actually learn from this trend, and what are we going to build. And we're going to quickly talk about some of the applications that we're building, and some of the user experience and actual development side of it. And finally, we will be talking about our feature application today, StepBOT. So what kind of apps are out there right now? So in the Play Store, I think there are more than 100 Android Wear apps. There are a whole bunch of where it came out. People have been waiting for it, and they have actually released the emulator earlier this year, so people have actually been playing it and they've been waiting. And when they actually release the watch, people will be submitting the application. So one trend that we're looking at is they're using watch as remote control. This example here is usually Wear, works for applications like Spotify, Pandora, and your iTunes. So basically using your watch to keep you as remote control. And Fix to Cam is the application to control your camera on your Android phone. So you can snap a photo, you can zoom in, and you can zoom out. So if you're in a situation where you need to take remote control photo for your phone, then you can press on your here and you can zoom in and take photos of it. And as you know, the Samsung Gear already released their watch and has a built-in remote control as well. Very simple. All you need to do is just go to remote control app and just say, I have an LG TV or I have a Samsung TV, and just go in it and just start playing with it. Boom, it just works. But why is it so interesting in remote control for that? Yeah. This actually came from the user experience, right? A wearable is always on you. So you don't really go, hey, where's my key? Where's my phone? If it's my watch, I always find it. The same thing with remote control. Remote control is something you always be like, hey, where's my remote control? And when you find one, sometimes it's out of area. When you find 3 or 4, sometimes you don't know which one to use to control the volume. So it makes perfect sense to be on a wearable. Something you have it on there, every time you can use it. Very simple. And UI is very simple. So now the interesting thing is, now we really think about how can we build an app for Netflix? How can we build an app for Spotify? People start thinking about how can we put that gigantic app in a tablet into small thing. But if you think about it from remote control, it's not another duplicated app. It's more of a complementary app that you can actually control the bigger devices. So now, since this concept is going on, now I tell you what can you build for Dropcam, GoPro, Spotify, Netflix. Makes perfect sense what to build. Because you're not going to watch video on Netflix here. That's not what watch is for. So another trend is, of course, notification. That's what the Wear came out for, and that's what the glass was for, just made for the notification. Just very simple. When you pull down the notification bar, you look at that bar, all they did was just kind of resize it and repurpose it on a watch. And just know how it looks, how Twitter looks, email, Facebook, and just the messaging works. Pretty simple stuff, right? But why is it special? Why am I talking about this here? Watch, actually, you do not have to install any of this application. So for instance, if you want to use WhatsApp, you have to have an application on your phone. Yo, Kakao Line, these are some messenger that people in the nation use. If you want to find a friend who uses this, you have to actually download it, right? But for your watch, it's different. You have to actually download applications for watch. If you just have an app on your phone, it will automatically send this notification to your watch. So let's just say I have a Facebook app installed on my phone, and it will automatically send me notification to my watch. And my watch doesn't have this kind of notification. So the only thing it's sending is here's an icon, and here's a message, and here's who it's from. So my watch doesn't actually really know if it came from Facebook or another application. It just knows that it actually came from the phone. And I think that's kind of pretty interesting. It's one of the first smart device that does not require application installation. And it's more interesting, right? You don't just get the message from the people. Now it's IoTs everywhere, right? So if you get the message from the Nest, or if it's just from the game, if you're Tom is getting attacked, whatever. And kind of slow down a little bit, but notifications like you have to buy flour, or you have to run, things like that. That's it's kind of interesting. So it's the same concept, right? If we build an app for Uber, World Cup, like what does that, like how will that look when you watch? And of course, over this map, the really good function when I watch. Maybe it's just a notification that I'm here, like where this is a car that I'm driving, and it's still like in the driver's face. That might be a better information when you watch than on a big map. Another trend is people are doing watch face. It's very simple. It's just watch face, right? Watch face meaning that if you just have to watch, you get just different watch faces. Since it's a digital, you can change it. People can just make a whole bunch of it, right? You can just change it. And the significance of the watch face is one of the biggest problems with the wearable right now is it's not professional. And a lot of people talking about it. The glass is not fashionable. Our watch is like square, it's not fashionable. But just being able to customize your watch face, it kind of tells other people that, hey, I'm personalizing mine. This is something that I like. So one of the trends that we saw is the Skeuomorphism, meaning that designing something after the real world object, which the trend has been kind of like fading away because a lot of people are using flat design and material design, so something more simple. But watch face, I think it's been a little bit different because people are trying to mimic the real world watch faces. So what you see when you hear the left is just digital, it kind of looks like the real. And personalization, meaning that, hey, watch metrics, and I can just get metrics, watch face, where if you're an arch person, instead of just like watch face, I can have something that just changes the art pieces every time. And the significance, again, is you only look at your phone, let's say, X amount of times every day, because it's in your pocket, it's in your bag sometimes. But watch, since it's in your wrist, I recognize that I look at my watch like 3-4 times more. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to enhance that experience of just looking at the watch. So if you have something beautiful that just comes up every time, I'm sure that's going to make it feel a little bit better. And not only personalized, now you can customize. On the real world watch, this real watch, you can really customize the way it looks, right? Now you can actually change the color of the gear and what kind of gear you want. So you can change different things. And I've seen an application where you can change the fonts of the time and the date and things like that. So again, why watch face? Why is it getting popular? Again, when we talk about affection, we talk about interaction, meaning that people are able to look at watch screen within the phone. And right now, there's no really fun toy app that people can actually play with. And watch face is the simplest app that the developer can make. So I think a lot of people are trying right now, so there's a lot of watch face out there. But then, interesting thing is, what if they don't get involved in a smartwatch, but they do not want to make hardware? They can still actually make a watch face, right? If you get this, it's going to have a watch face where like a Gucci, it's going to have a really classic, elegant looking watch face. So although they're not making hardware, they can actually be involved in this smartwatch industry. So let's talk about the games. This is what we're making. There are a lot of small games. Nothing like groundbreaking. Okay, of course, Fitbit is there, and like what the Simon says, and some like simple puzzle that you can kind of play in small spaces. But what is so fun about it, right? So what this opportunity is actually came from even way before, like even before 98, 97, when actually Dreamcast had a little, let me see here, this little card. It's called virtual memory unit. So what you do is you play the real actually game on TV, but when you actually walk away, you can set some of the game information to this little game machine. So you can actually do a little game while you're away, and you can actually put it back. So when you play like RPG, role-playing game, it takes so much time to kill a little minion and level up. It's so boring, type of like task. What you can do is, while I'm in a bus, I'm actually going to play a little game. When I go home, I'm going to pull it back in, I'm like right there, I'm leveling up. So that's where the gaming opportunity, I think, is going to exist in a wearable. This makes perfect sense. It was so nerdy to carry all of those like in the car and just play, but then if you can just really just quickly watch, people don't know what you're doing. And same thing, actually that idea of the Pokemon did pretty well, back in Nintendo as well. And some of the examples would be, let's say you play like sports games. Sports games are all about like timing, so like basketball shooting, right? Like when you press it, when you release, it's very important. If you can kind of practice it when you watch this, while you're like a car or like doing whatever, right? So then you can actually play and extend the play outside of the game, outside of the living room. Which kind of gives you like what is this watch games going to be like for like the games like that? Of course, you're not going to play full like Madden or full Final Fantasy in here. But if it's an extension of the actual real game that you want the user to play when they're outside of the living room, what is that going to be like? So coming out, let's quickly talk about some things that we're working on right now. We're working on a thing called a G card. It's a series of flash cards. So basically, on your smartphone, you make a flash card back and forth. So you have a definition and a word and a definition, whatever way. And the only thing you do is, hey, send it to my watch, and you can open it in your watch, and you can just look at the flash card, just front and back. It's very something short information. The cool thing about this is, like, you're a student. You're going to your classroom, right? Just quickly go over your test element or some of your studying elements. And instead of take out your phone with your bag, when you have a wearable, you can just quickly scan through. And like if you have a meeting or if you have a presentation, and if you want to walk through like your content, I think it would be much better to actually look through your watch than your phone while you're at the booth. And this type of flash card can be used in the meeting environment as well. It's just some of the UX things that we were doing. Yeah, so the cool thing about here as well is the app that I see on my mobile and the app that I see on my watch are completely different. I'm actually building a flash card on my mobile. Of course, I can use it to study as well. I can't really build it. I can't really type anything on my watch. So I'm not going to actually be able to do that. If you want to actually build something, you have to take your phone and just build it and connect it to your watch. Watch is just for you to walk around and just look at it. So I mean that's kind of like a paradigm shift from like let's build everything mobile, tablet. They kind of mimic the same thing. But I think that the wearable paradigm is kind of a little bit different right now. StepBOT is the watch face app that we're making. Watch face. But what we want to do is instead of just providing our own art, why don't we just get it from Instagram or Pinterest, where there's beautiful images out there, just utilizing theirs. You can maybe curate it, or people can actually kind of share, or you can kind of add it to send it to your watch face. It's under right now we're doing a lot of UX stuff right now, so it'll be later until we can release this. And so we're going to quickly talk about StepBOT, and actually Michael's going to demonstrate what we're building as well. And the vision why we actually started StepBOT is because, as I told you guys, there are not that many fun app or Android Wear, and we want this to be a successful product. So that we want to build something that everybody's going to play and enjoy. And I'm a huge fitness person, and I want people to move. I actually bought Fitbit and a Jawbone, but I ended up not using it until I didn't need too much motivation. And I'm sure some people feel differently. And I think a lot of people also have actually bought this device, which is used it for a couple of weeks. And we love retro gaming, 8-bits, those are trends, and I grew up in the 80s, so just like when I was telling that. So we just got straight and I just built something really quick and simple for everywhere and see what happens.
Who doesn't love Nintendo or Super Nintendo time in the day? So I'm going to bring up a demonstration of what we have so far. Show you in Android application first. Oh, okay. So this is our Kickstarter campaign that we have at the moment. So kind of together. So this is the video that from our Kickstarter campaign, which we started approximately about a week ago. And essentially we're going for a goal of $5,000 and going pretty well at the moment. But I can show you the actual game here that we have, the Android Wear. Just a quick question for you guys. Has anybody developed for Android Wear yet? Any? Nice. What was it? Raise. You okay? So just want to give my quick tidbit on development for Android Wear. If you're an Android developer, jumping into Android Wear is actually pretty simple. The only difference is treating it like developing an Android app for a device that has a display screen size of 280 by 280. But other than that, I mean, that's the biggest pros that Android developers can easily jump into. The biggest cons is that a lot of mistakes that you're seeing in first generation Android Wear apps right now is that they're not really thinking about the user experience, like buttons being too big or too small for Android Wear devices. They're not creating like an intuitive experience. But here is the what we have for StepBOT and Android Wear. So as you can see.
So what the StepBOT is actually is going to get the sensor data from your wearable devices. So things like the step count and the distance you moved and like how many calories you burned. And through by using this data, we're creating an RPG game. You can like set an attribute where like let's put like more value in the strength, then it's going to walk more. And let's put like more value in agility, meaning that your StepBOT is going to walk faster. And you can select the character. So everybody was going to have a different character and a different characteristic in how fast they move, and they can compete against each other, and they can really do like cooperation as well.
We wanted to make utilizing the steps. We were seeing like people who are using devices like the Android Wear, Jawbone, Fitbit, those step data that you get in, but it's like at the end of the day, they're just numbers. So we want to do something fun, being able to gamify those steps. So StepBOT was kind of the creation of that. Sure. So we actually created a yeah, unfortunately.
So as you see, so you just kind of sort of glimpse of what our watch app does, and what we actually do it on the mobile is a little bit different, just again. On the mobile, you can set up this attribute, like like what is its strength is going to be, what is agility, and intelligence is going to be like. But then like on your watch face, the only thing you can do is like you're getting a special boost or a special charge. Actually, the most demonstrated over here.
Slashing this in motion. Great, bringing that by the way.
So like Fitbit and Jawbone, those guys have awesome APIs. They will provide like sleeping scalable information, which you will be using to wake up StepBOT and make people sleep.
Another thing that I wanted to note is that your StepBOT will gradually boost energy as time goes by. So basically, with the whole steps, we want to be able to keep the lock alive, per se, keep it charged. The Android version features a little bit more intuitive interfaces given the screen size. So
you saw the booster.
example,
And he's going to run faster, and that's going to take like 100 steps versus like 10 steps to do the charge.
you can level up.
So the interesting thing about here is safety of the full quadrant. Sure. So as you see, like we have like 4 quadrants right now, the bottom part, the one part. Each one of them actually, when you export it to the watch, it's going to be the watch face of this node. So when you actually like swipe left and right, you'll see those user interface. So that's how we kind of like trying to use the same user interface in a watch and a mobile at the same time.
And essentially, as Android developers, you'll recognize this as being just a simple gauge adapter. So this also works as well with the Android Wear apps as well. So.
What are some of the challenges you have?
Let's see. Treating it as it's supposed to develop for an Android device with a small display. It wasn't much of a challenge at all. The biggest challenge I'm facing right now is the lack of direct access to the internet. This is a big issue because, especially if you want to eventually tie this game to Google Gameplay services, but Android Wear has a restriction essentially that you need to pass on data through your phone. Essentially, if you want to take data from the internet. So treating your phone or your Android device as a kind of like a middleman per se. Other than that, I think that's pretty much the only biggest challenge I'm facing.
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is understanding the user experience and how people are using the wearable. And once you actually kind of figure it out, everything kind of probably will come naturally. It's just like making a small UI for 280 by 280. I'll take any questions if you guys have any.
So I guess it's like, so all the sensor data from Fitbit or from Jawbone, is it coming through the Android phone or is it talking straight to the watch?
It's coming through the Android phone because essentially, since Android Wear does not have direct access to the internet, it basically serves as another device to be able to retrieve steps. So let's say we're also designing this game as if we don't want Android Wear device. We have a Jawbone device, we have a Fitbit device, or we have a Skeuomorphism device. Or if you have an Android device that has Jawbone sensors, you can actually play the game and earn steps that way. With StepBOT, you can essentially use it as a way to unify your steps, and then essentially develop this character throughout multiple devices.
Okay.
Anyone else? All right, thanks for your time, man.